Hey guys, I'm recording this video for those of you who feel sick and tired all the time, who have no energy, who can't focus, who know what to do. They know they should eat healthy. They know they should exercise. They know they should, sleep well, sleep at the right time, but they think that they don't have the discipline to do this. They just don't have the willpower. They feel maybe a little bit ashamed of themselves, feel mentally weak, not strong enough to be able to eat the right food and do the exercise, go to the gym and do the sleep routine and morning journaling, meditation, all that stuff that they think they should do, and they just don't have the willpower and discipline to do it. I want to tell you that you actually don't need discipline. All right, hear me out. So over 20 years ago, I was in my 20s and I was just feeling tired, sick and tired all the time. I was fat, I was overweight, and the tiredness is something that I shudder to think about, right, these days, now that I don't have it. A tiredness is like waking up in the morning. I hit snooze. I go to bed, and the alarms goes off. I hit snooze again, and I'll do that for 5 times, and I still feel like I have to step it up. I could sleep 12 hours, 14 hours, and then eventually I have to go to work, right? So I just struggle at work for energy. I struggle to focus, remember what people was telling me, trying to be smart, trying to pretend and cover up my lack of memory or lack of focus with caffeine, energy drink. I'll do that for the morning, and then after lunch I have a major crash where I could really just sit in a chair and just fall asleep instantly. I was that tired, and I thought something was wrong, so I went to my doctor to see what's going on. Why am I feeling like this? And a bunch of tests later, it turns out I've got a form of diabetes, right? So it's a lower form, but it still means that my blood sugar is going haywire. It's going up and down throughout the day. And at the time, I thought I'm eating relatively healthy. I have cereals for breakfast, right? That's the part of the most important meal of the day. I should eat cereal. I have plenty of whole healthy grains. I have rice. I have meat. I have plenty of veggies. And I exercise. I should be healthy, but I wasn't. And it was really weird because the conventional wisdom at the time is I should just eat lower calories. And then I should just work out more. Maybe I can fix my blood sugar, my obesity issues. So I do that. But what I struggle with is, at the time, just sticking to it, right? I try to exercise more. I try going to the gym every day, but I'll just get busy and I stop going. I'll try to eat basically soup and salad, right? Low calorie. And I'll do that. Then the next moment I see this big popular dessert place, I'll go there and I pick out and I feel ashamed of myself. And that was like a roller coaster. I'll get disciplined and then I will just fall back and I get disciplined again. So it just never lasts. And I thought I just need more willpower. I need more discipline. So I go to motivational events, learn about mindset. I get riled up. I get, let's go. Those events just pump me up with my goal. And I know I can do it. I put a vision chart on me with a 6-pack, being healthy and strong and not having energy, fatigue issues. And I visualize this every morning. I do my meditation. I try that. But then even that, trying to do all that, get myself energized with all this mindset programming thing took energy. And I lose discipline when I just can't stick with it. Right? So it's weird that to get the mindset and the discipline and the willpower I need to achieve my health goals and to get myself fixed up requires discipline. So it's like a vicious cycle. So where do I go from there? Right? It's like a downward cycle. If I need more discipline to get more discipline, it's like this. It's a non-starter. So, and I was lost for a while. It wasn't until I discovered functional health. Right? So functional medicine, functional health, it's taking a holistic look at your biology. It's about taking control of your biology rather than delegating your health to so-called experts, to so-called scientific consensus and the majority, the statistics and data. What ultimately work and what is best is what's working for you and what will work for you. If it doesn't work for you, it might work for 99%. You might have 99% scientific consensus on what is right for the 99%, but you're that 1%. You are unique. And taking that functional health approach transformed my life. Because the conventional wisdom, calories in, calories out, working out more, eating less, trying to sleep, get your will, everything it seems like requires willpower, but that hasn't worked for me. So I need to look what's going to work for me. Rather than continue to follow the so-called majority mainstream medicine, health advice, public health recommendations, I have to look at what's going to work for me, because the traditional mainstream just doesn't work for me. It may work for you, but it didn't work for me. So I changed. I start doing my own research. I start experimenting and trying things out. I was being smart about it, right? I weigh up the risk tolerable, potential return high, potential benefit high. So I go and do this. And what happens was miraculous. What I realized is, as I start to improve on my health, it was almost, it's just easy to be disciplined. Today, I look at a donut. I watch people eating pizza, donut, spaghetti, pasta. I got zero desire to consume any of those. They feel bad. They feel, hey, Steve, you're so fit. You know, like, but we're eating, and you always eat healthy. And these, I'm sorry, we're eating cake in front of me. I said, don't be. Because, and I didn't tell them this, but at least in my mind, they might as well be eating grass or rocks. It's not food. For me, I have no desire. I require zero discipline or willpower. And that happened because I transformed who I am. When you transform who you are, you don't need discipline. You don't need willpower. It takes zero energy because you have a new way of being. Your being has fundamental shifted. So I was the dessert guy. I was the guy that liked to pick up on salty, deep fried food because it's tasty. I was that guy, but I'm no longer that guy because I transformed. And that comes from taking a functional health approach where you consider your body, your mind, and soul. The biology of what's driving my cravings and my blood sugar spike is carbohydrates. I was consuming way too much and just drive more craving, and carbohydrate inhibition to stop me from basically picking out of those things takes so much more willpower. Whereas I can eat all the protein or the fat I want, and I feel full, satisfied, and I do not need any willpower to control myself. I just get full, and I just lost the desire to eat, right? So that's a biological factor that if you do right and you do take that functional health approach, you find out what works. That has worked for me, and that means I can sustain this, and I have been sustaining this for over 10 years. I've basically got a permanent six-pack that I really need to exercise to maintain. I can spend all my energy and focus on work rather than spending all the time in the gym. So the calories in, calories out, CCO, perhaps that work for you, but it doesn't work for me. For me, I need to take a functional health approach, focus on protein, focus on carb, and it means I can live a lifestyle where I can free to pursue my goal and not spending every moment trying to be so-called disciplined and strong-willed to actually achieve my health goals. And that's the problem with public health is when something doesn't work, they blame you for it. They blame you. They almost like when I was fat, they look at me like you're just a fat, lazy bastard that doesn't have the willpower to actually do what it takes. You probably eat like 15 Snickers bars, in secret, and you have another 20 more hidden in your cupboard, and you pretend to be healthy. Look, that's not the case. I tried following the mainstream. Doesn't work. I need to find out what works for me and also what works for a lot of my clients. I hope by sharing this story with you helps you. If you feel that you struggle for discipline and willpower to do so-called healthy things, there's probably something wrong with whatever things that you're following. It could be your diet, it could be the way you exercise, it could be the way your mindset, how you use your brain, and potentially how you sleep. And you've probably been following a lot of conventional advice. It's not your fault, right? It's not that you lack willpower or discipline. It's because the advice you've been getting is incorrect, and it's about time to change. So if you're looking to change and transform yourself, you're looking to make some fundamental tweaks because what you're doing hasn't worked for you, just drop me a line below. Just ping the word warrior. All right, drop me the word warrior below. I'll reach out and I'll do my best to answer all your questions and give you a structure for how you can tweak your diet, tweak your sleep, tweak your exercise in a way that you can sustain it, and you don't even need any willpower or discipline to be able to do this. All right.